I am Chief Petty Officer Sally Armstrong, Career Advisor in the Royal Navy, having served for 32 years, and would love this opportunity today to talk to you about careers in the Royal Navy. And I'm joined by my colleague, Chief Petty Officer Steve Warby as well.
Good morning.
So what we'd like to start with doing is talking about the different careers. Would you like to move the slide forward, please? So what we're going to look at is the reasons why we have the Royal Navy, how we're organised, and we're very structured, and to look at how we put that structure together. We have different specialisations within the Royal Navy, there's so much choice and opportunities. So then we're really going to tell you how you're going to apply, because you're really going to want to by the time we finish with this, and who we're looking for, and actually we're just looking for you. Because what we believe in is that everyone's got something to bring to the party, no matter where you're from, what your background is, what age you are, we want you in the Royal Navy. And then any questions, we're going to hopefully answer all of them. Thank you. I'm just going to play this short video for you.
On an average day around the world, the Royal Navy has up to 8,000 sailors and Marines and as many as 40 ships, submarines and aircraft either deployed or preparing to deploy. Whether it's in the Arabian Gulf, North Sea, Afghanistan or the icy waters of the South Atlantic, your Royal Navy is out there doing what is asked of it, and at times much, much more, active and fully engaged around the world. As a nation, we are increasingly reliant on the stable supply of oil, gas and raw materials into our ports. By guarding the flow of these energy resources and ensuring trade routes remain open and safe to use, the Navy protects UK supply lines and safeguards its prosperity. Every day of the year, the Navy provides security by maintaining a visible presence in home waters and in regions overseas where there are strong UK interests. This allows the Royal Navy to build relationships with regional partners and respond rapidly to conflict, aggression, and unforeseen natural disasters, helping restore stability, bringing humanitarian assistance and saving lives. Promoting partnerships with other nations is key to helping them to make the seas safer for everyone. As well as helping to share the burden of providing security, it also allows us to increase levels of understanding and cooperation between nations. By being globally deployed, the Royal Navy prevents conflict. Its reassuring presence can often be enough to deter threats, help keep the peace, and stabilize potential hotspots. And being globally deployed also allows the Navy to respond swiftly to unforeseen events as and when they emerge. This is why the Navy is always ready to fight and win in combat, at sea, on land, or in the air. All of the Royal Navy's tasks are possible because the 30,000 sailors and Marines of the Royal Navy are a highly skilled and efficient force. They are the lifeblood of the service, able to adapt to whatever the mission demands and are the key to delivering success anywhere in the world. The Royal Navy is your Navy, working 365 days a year around the globe with one aim: protecting our nation's interests.
So as you can see, there are 6 elements to the Royal Navy. We're going to cover them in the next slides. The Royal Fleet Auxiliary are going to be covered by my colleague later on in a specific area. We also have the Royal Navy Reserves, which is the part-time element of the Royal Navy. So if you just want to work alongside the Royal Navy and support them, but it also opens to opportunities to work in full-time to cover a specific job. Thank you.
So good morning. The surface fleet, as you can see there on the screen, you've got a rather large vessel there. That is our new ship into the Royal Navy, which is HMS Queen Elizabeth, which is an aircraft carrier, and the sister ship is HMS Prince of Wales. Fun fact for you there on HMS Queen Elizabeth, it can actually hold on its flight deck 4 jumbo jets, that's the size of the flight deck that you can see there, and also in the hangar it can house 2 Type 23 frigates. So the surface fleet consists of around about 72 vessels, ranging from the aircraft carrier you can see there to Type 45 destroyers, Type 23 frigates, and various maritime patrol vessels and surface vessels for fishing. Next slide, please. So the Submarine Service, I'm sure you've seen the adverts on TV about the Submarine Service. We can't tell you too much about it. However, it is the silent service. They operate underneath the sea. The roles are available for male and female. And we have 2 particular submarines, which is the nuclear deterrent and the attack deterrent. Mainly based out of Scotland, Faslane. There are a few boats down in Plymouth at the same time. However, as we say, we can't talk too much about the submarine service because it is the silent service, operating 24/7, 365 underneath the waves. Next slide, please.
We also have the Fleet Air Arm, and that is the air element of the Royal Navy. Some people believe that the RAF is where they want to go if they want to fly fast-wing jets. As you can see on the screen, we have the F-35, but we also have various types of helicopters. So what happens is if a ship is deploying for, say, a 6-month deployment, one of the helicopters will be given an exercise to join the ship, and they will deploy with the helicopter. And the helicopter will fly every day to do ops and whatever the operation requires. So the Fleet Air Arm is very exciting. We have lots of different roles within the Fleet Air Arm, and they're based out of 2 main air stations in the UK, which is in Yeovil in Somerset and Culdrose down in Cornwall. Next slide, please. The Royal Marines is the fighting amphibious force for the Royal Navy. They can fight on land and at sea in every single terrain that you can think of, in the snow, the jungle and the desert. They are the most well-trained elite soldiers of the world, and I have that on good knowledge. The Royal Marines we'll talk about a little bit more later on, but they are a very professional force. Thank you. So the Royal Fleet Auxiliary are our assistants in the Royal Navy, especially when we're at sea. They supply us with fuel, equipment and medical support, and that will be taught to you later on in a little bit more detail. Thank you.
I think this is where I'll interject now. Thanks, Chief. Good morning. My name is Third Officer Steve Pells. I'm a marine engineer, 14 years in the service. I've got 5 minutes to talk through the Royal Fleet Auxiliary. The Royal Fleet Auxiliary, what is the Royal Fleet Auxiliary? It's predominantly civil service, providing logistical and operational support for the Royal Navy's activities worldwide, including NATO. Established in 1905, RFA has been historically supplying the ships of the Royal Navy with stores, ammunition and fuel. Whilst it's not traditionally been a key area of focus for the Royal Navy, the RFA has grown in importance as the ever more complex surface fleet requires greater support. In addition to the roles taken on due to the ship's greater capabilities, for example, the new Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers touched on earlier, requiring new purpose-built ships to assist in carrying out their duties, we also undertake ever more NATO task force operations, humanitarian assistance where needed, and other foreign engagements, sharing the Royal Navy's commitments to overseas territories. Whilst the RFA is a part of the wider naval service, its military standing is more defensive than offensive. The weapons we carry are for our own self-defense, manned by either crew or onboard assigned force protection teams. Some of our ships may also serve as a command platform for operations being undertaken in theatre, so this means working closely with other arms of the MOD and even allied forces. So, are we trained as military? New entrants are given initial training at Royal Navy establishments, depending on their role. For cadets, it will be Britannia Royal Naval College, where they'll be trained as a naval officer, upholding the traditions and standards, as well as developing leadership skills. All new entrants are required to sign a sponsored reserved agreement, where you will become a special member of the Naval Service, which basically means in times of war or activation, you cannot be treated as a pirate, mercenary, or spy. Employees serving in other reserve forces like the TA, etc., will not normally be eligible for RFA-sponsored reserve membership, and so you would need to transfer. You will be expected to undertake unique training such as damage control, more extensive firefighting, CBRN, in addition to the STCW civilian training required by the International Maritime Organization. Entrants will be employed as civil servants with no duration or upper age restriction. The pension scheme is a civil service pension scheme, not a military one. The rank structure, although it is civilian, is in line with the Royal Navy's and NATO's, and so marks of respect and traditions are still practiced, with each grade enjoying their own independence and way of accommodation, dining and social arrangements. Thank you.
There are different areas of the Royal Navy that you can join. You can join as a commissioned officer, a rating, which is the specialist, which they learn from the very basics and the intricate details of every job role, but they can become an officer as well if they have the correct qualifications and potential. And then we have the Royal Marines. Thank you. So the different specialisations, I'm going to go through each of the 6 of them, and the next couple of slides are going to show engineering and medical. So I'll just talk to you quickly about logistics. Logistics is my area, so we're a supporting role within the Royal Navy, and we do anything from HR to logistical supplies of equipment, food and uniforms, and we also have the catering services, which is mainly chefing and a bit of stewarding. Really interesting job roles and can open up lots of opportunities. The Fleet Air Arm is full of engineers, people who handle the aircraft, exciting jobs like the Naval Air Crewman, which is someone who sits in the back of the helicopter, deciding who comes in and out of the helicopter, using the weapon systems on board and helping navigate the aircraft. And then obviously we have the Royal Marines, which I talked about earlier. Thank you.
All this wouldn't be possible without my branch, which is, go back one slide please, which is the warfare branch. The warfare branch covers 4 arms, which is above water warfare tactical, which is all the radars and data links talking to various ships and submarines and aircraft. Above water warfare weapons, where they man all the weapons outboard on ships and all the missiles that we fire from the ships. UW underwater, this team monitors the sonars, so all the sensors emitting from submarines, where they can listen out and track where the sonars are, even though we can't talk too much about that, silent service. And finally, EW, which is electronic warfare, so they are listening in, they are the listeners of anything and everything that emits from any ship or any aircraft. Next, please.
The engineering roles within the Royal Navy fall into 3 categories. There's the marine engineers. They're a bit like your car mechanics. They make sure that the ship can be self-sustainable. So they cover all the engines, the plumbing, the electrics, the water, refrigeration, air conditioning units. Then we've got the weapon engineers, and basically they're looking after all the sensors, the radars, the sonars, the satellites, obviously the weapons, so more electronic based, very computerized and mathematical. And then we have the air engineers, so they work with the Fleet Air Arm, fixing and maintaining all of our aircraft, bringing in both elements of the marine and weapon engineering, because every single element of that helicopter is fixed and maintained by the air engineers. And there is many, many opportunities for budding engineers in the Royal Navy, as well as all the other job roles as well. Thank you. The medical services is a massive range. We have some fantastic opportunities depending on your background and your qualifications. So if you've got no qualifications, then you can be a medical assistant, which is like a paramedic. So first aiders, very highly trained first aiders on the scene to deal with any situation, whether it's on board a ship or alongside working with the Royal Marines and shoreside as well, and also work out of the hospitals. But we also have other roles like dental, and if you wanted to be a naval nurse, then we would actually train you to be the naval nurse. So we would send you to Birmingham City University, pay for your 3-year degree, pay you £20,000 a year while you're training, all because we want you in the Royal Navy. And if you've got a medical degree, then you can be a medical officer. There's obviously other roles in the medical world as well that you can look into. Thank you. So wanting to know how you apply, well, most people are eligible. There are always areas that can stop you from joining the Royal Navy, and if you have any questions on that, then we'll be able to answer that. But you can find if you're eligible by going onto the Royal Navy career website, and if you play around in that area, you'll be able to have a look at anything that you might feel is an issue for you, or that you want to know whether you can do a specific job. You can do any role that you want to do if you've got the right qualifications or you just have the interest in that area. You register your interest in a certain role, and then you'll be contacted, and then you can apply online. And once you apply online, we're using at the moment an estimated recruitment test score using your qualifications. So all you lovely year 11s out there who are basically starting your GCSE year, it is so important that you do try your hardest to attain your GCSE results. If you have certain GCSE results that are suitable for the job role that you want to do, then you will not have to sit currently the recruitment test. So your maths and English, grade 4 and above, science, grade 4 and above, it's all really important. So work really hard at your maths and English, and that will just help your journey. Now, if you don't manage to gain any of these qualifications, then when you join the Royal Navy, they will really want to encourage you to get those qualifications then. So you'll be able to take your GCSEs, English and maths again if you don't do it at school. So I would say nail it now so you don't have to nail it later. Thank you. There's a selection interview, as you would do for any job, and we want to just find out all about you and to see if you are suitable for the Royal Navy and the job role that you want to do. We're not going to stop you from doing a job role unless it really stands out that you would be suitable for something else, but at the end of the day, it is your choice. We're interested in all your background and all your extra activities. So whatever you're doing at school or at college, it's really important to us, and what you do outside of school is important as well. And the last part of the interview, we're just going to find out about why you really want to join and how much information you found out to see that you are interested in joining the Royal Navy. Following the interview, you will have a medical and eyesight test, and there's different requirements depending on what you want to do. And then we're going to test your fitness. And the fitness test for the Royal Navy and the Royal Marines is slightly different, but for the Royal Navy, it's just a 2.4 kilometre run, and that is 1 miles. We have different standards depending on your age and whether you're a male or female, and that's just the physiology of our bodies and what we're capable of. That's the minimum score, maximum score you have to reach, but if you can get that faster and run it quicker, then that would be much more advisable. The Royal Marines have a harder 2.4k run to run in 12 minutes 30 seconds, no matter how fast you think you can run it. You take that long because you have a minute recovery before you will go again and try and get it under 10 minutes 30. Currently, we are not doing a pre-joining fitness test for Royal Marines. We're doing a virtual pre-joining fitness test. It's very exciting. And it ranges from you being assessed by a Royal Marine over Zoom. We love Zoom. And during that time, you'll be doing burpees, yes, burpees, press-ups, some sit-ups, planking, and you have to have really good form, be able to achieve all of the required exercises in a certain time. Thank you. Once you've finished the pre-joining fitness test, we will then ask for a date for you to join the Royal Navy if you are rating joining as in a specialisation. Once you've got your date to join the Navy, then you will attend a pre-Royal Navy course, and that's a bit of a look at life, at what it's like in the Navy. You will be tested with your swimming, so you do need to be able to swim. You don't have to be an Olympic swimmer, but you do need to be using swimming as part of your fitness routine. And you'll be tested with your run as well, but it's mainly for you to have a look. And if you're going to be a submariner, then you'll go up to Scotland for your pre-Royal Navy course and get to go down a real-life submarine to see if it's really what you want to do and see how exciting that really is. However, if you're choosing a specialisation that requires a further interview, you will be doing that before you get a date to join the interview, join the Navy. And that's things like nursing boards, presentation boards, flying aptitude tests if you want to be an air crewman, etc. Thank you. Prior to COVID, we did a pre-Royal Marine course, which was assessing your suitability at your fitness levels prior to joining training. We've changed that now. We're doing that virtual pre-joining fitness test that I mentioned. And then on passing that, you would go to Lympstone, CTCRM Lympstone in Exeter, where you would do a 4-week structured training course that would build you up to the right level before you start training. It has proved very successful. It gives you a good insight into the Royal Marines prior to starting your 32 weeks training. Thank you. If you want to be a Royal Navy officer, then you will go through exactly the same procedure as you do as a rating, but once you pass your pre-joining fitness test, you'll then be invited to attend an Admiralty interview board. And that is where they'll be testing all different types of your leadership potential for the Royal Navy. This is based at HMS Solent in Gosport near Portsmouth. Thank you. Royal Marine officers, they attend the AIB as well, but they also do a potential officers course at Lympstone, but everything else is the same as all the other selection interviews and everything. Thank you. Right, hopefully we've given you enough information, and we are now open for any questions that you may have.
Great, thanks ever so much, everyone. That was really, really informative. We haven't had any questions in the chat function so far, but we do have a few minutes left. So if anyone's got any questions, but I've got a question actually for you, Sally, if possible. You've spoke about obviously the entry points, that kind of thing. What about apprenticeships? Is that an option for young people at the moment, or something else?
Yes, so it's very exciting. Everybody that joins the Royal Navy and the Royal Marines will be put onto an apprenticeship scheme. So alongside their professional training, they'll have external verifiers that come in to assess how they're being taught, and they'll be given equivalent professional qualifications to go alongside what they're being taught. So for example, if you're going to be an engineer, you'll be working throughout your career towards a foundation degree in engineering, which you would be given the opportunity to complete your degree at the end of that. But all of the, every single role will give you professional qualifications, but you also get the opportunity to do other qualifications alongside what you're doing through your normal role. So everyone is encouraged to develop, to professionally develop, is encouraged to get promoted. Everyone's got the opportunity to go right to the top, so there's no boundary there. It's a really good opportunity when it comes to keeping your qualifications going and keep learning.
That's great. Thank you ever so much. And also, if people are thinking obviously about joining the Navy, when's the best time of year they should be applying or looking to apply?
That's a really good question, Chloe. Because of today's climate and things have been slowed down slightly, but we're still working very hard and have continually started training throughout COVID, people should give themselves about a year's running time. So if they think, well, actually, I'm going to finish 2 years of college, then they're going to apply on the start of their second year of college. Now, we will take everybody on the understanding that they're going to gain the qualifications that they may need to do the job role that they want, and we'll take them all the way through. And as long as they achieve those qualifications, we can get a date to fall in place with them finishing any course or any time that they want to join. So if someone says, well, I want to join, but I don't actually really want to join until next year, then now is the time to apply, because then you have a nice calm running through everything. In case there's any hiccups along the way, any medical issues that need to be ironed out, then it gives them the time. But if people think, oh, I'll join the Navy tomorrow, then that's not going to happen. So I would say about years running. Now, the earliest anyone can apply to join the Royal Navy or Royal Marines is 15 and 9 months old. And so we take people straight from in year 11, if they want to, instead of going to college, join the Navy when their friends are actually going to college.
That's great. That's really informative. And like you said, I think for any you know, careers, people that are watching this and students that are watching this now, knowing that information is really, really crucial and really informative. Thank you. I hope we've got time. Just one question. I've got Jordan, who's put in the chat function. He's just asked, what is the difference between an apprenticeship and an accelerated apprenticeship? And we've got a couple of minutes if you can describe that for us. Thanks, Sally.
So we have got some really good opportunities, and one of them is in the engineering world. If somebody has gone and done A levels at physics and maths or any other STEM subject and achieved a certain level, or if they've done a BTEC level 3 or whatever equivalent's going on at the moment, T levels, level 3, which is equivalent to the next step up from GCSE, so A levels, in engineering, then they can join straight in as an accelerated apprentice engineer. That means that from day one, they are holding the rank of leading hand, and they're paid 33,000 from that day. Amazing. So they could be an 18-year-old earning that much. However, in order for us to choose the best people for this, we're looking for people who have got experience of leadership and who've done extracurricular activities and who have done more than just turning up for school or college, because the competition is high. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to give you the opportunity to have a go at it. So please don't think that just because you've turned up and done the extra qualifications, that's going to do it for you. But actually, we're going to give you the opportunity to show us that you are the person we want to give that great opportunity to. However, you could have all these qualifications, even a degree, and still join as an able rate in the Royal Navy. And if the Royal Navy identify that you are wasted at that level, they will give you the opportunity to fast track within 2 years to lead in hand, and obviously all the way through. And if you've got 5 GCSEs, including Maths and English, grade 5 or B and above, it means that down the line you always have the opportunity to go through the officer role as well as, and in engineering, as long as you've got a degree in engineering, which you can get the opportunity, as I said earlier, while you are serving.
Brilliant. That's great. Thanks ever so much to all of you for your time. It's been really, really informative for me, and I should imagine all of the people that are watching. So again, thank you from Solent LEP, Maritime UK, and thanks everyone for listening. Bye-bye.